Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SB Reviews, where today we're going to be reviewing 6 tracks off of a new album from an act named West of House. This album is called Drown the Wind. If we switch over to here, we have, of course, got the SoundCloud, we have got the album art here, looking very interesting. I'm fascinated by it already, genuinely. I love when the album art is done well. It's such a shame when it's not. We're going to listen to the first 6 tracks from Nothing Is But What Is Not to Fall Down. We're going to listen to these from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go. I'm already fascinated by this. I love it when they have these. I like for real. Sorry to interrupt it. I love it when people have the courage to not just go straight into the song on the first track of an album. People can wait. If it's good, people can wait. Make them work for it, right? This string work. It's incredibly ominous. Sounds like it's from some fantasy movie soundtrack or something like that. I dig it. Oh? Where are we going with this? Nothing is but what is not. Have we got some vocal chops in there? Some vocal samples as well? Kind of mystical sounding, isn't it? Because of those synths and pads and all that. And because of the vocal samples panned all over the stereo field. Well, not all over, like occasionally. Oh, that's a beautiful vocal texture to whatever's going on there. Very subtle, but that's okay. We don't have everything. We don't need everything the same loudness. You can have layers. Is this what the rest of the album is going to be like?
What if you woke up tomorrow and everything was different?
I mean, to be fair, if I woke up tomorrow and everything was different, I think I'd scream. I'm not even trying to be sort of like facetious. It's just, I'm assuming that I'm okay. What? Entwined. I'm liking that sizzly guitar tone though.
Let's see if the mountains will crumble.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the vocals there. I thought I had a chance to step in. I'm liking the tone of the drums. The guitars are nicely panned in the mix. And the vocals are sitting on top of that mix really, really well. The EQ works on point.
The oceans will turn to dust if the sun will set and never rise again.
Nice vocal harmonies there.
Unrequited love.
Yeah, so we had a minor third harmony there.
We'll sing, we'll smile, and we'll dance. Our sanguine lives entwined with the scars and our dreams.
Dope, and going back to that original guitar riff there, right? We've got a few very distinct sections in this song. The vocals are coming through nice and clearly, and it's compelling stuff. I just want to have a listen to the lyrics. Bass is very subtle, but it's definitely there, very smooth. Some nice guitar work, a little bit of ornamentation in that rhythm with a few slides. Nice eighth note groove percussion.
Let's see if my failure defines me, if I'm justified in my pursuit to throw myself into your arms, in your arms again. We'll sing, we'll smile, and we'll dance. Our sanguine lives entwined.
Okay, I mean, so the face value of what I'm understanding about this is there is a little bit of trepidation about whether they'll get together, but the aim eventually is for them to be able to sort of dance together and just have a great time.
With our scars and our dreams.
Okay, I get it. So their love is entwined, their two become one. You know what I mean? That's my very basic take of it.
It's all too much, and it's all not enough. It's all too much, and it's all not enough.
It's all too much and it's all not enough. So is there a little bit of a contradiction within just the vocals, this the lyrics, or is it about the relationship as a contradiction or something? Oh, nice interlude into a guitar solo. Got a wah pedal with some delay on it. What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry. So that was fun. I just had an internet outage and it completely stopped the review, and I had to go and get in touch with an internet company that has no phone to call at the moment because people are in lockdown. And yeah, no chat service or anything. It's literally just sending an email, and mysteriously, when I sent them an email saying I'd probably need to switch providers if the outage continued, I magically things were fixed. So let's continue. Okay, we got a really cool guitar solo going on here. It was a very graceful guitar solo. There wasn't a whole lot of shred in there. He wanted every note to matter. Nice legato, I feel. It was cool. Nice looping guitar riff there with some fill work on the drums. Oh, and a slow rise of that volume on the guitars. That was a pretty slick drum fill there, actually. You know, was that double kick or was that like some more sort of tone fill stuff? That line, "and our scars and our dreams," is very interesting to me because it signals to me that he's aware that the person he's wanting to share this time with may have gone through some really crazy stuff, or just that all human beings have their pros and cons, right? Our scars and our dreams is that maybe we get those scars in order to achieve our dreams. You know what I mean? Or yeah, I kind of love that. There's a beauty to what's being said there, or sort of a wholesomeness that I quite appreciate. That that 7/8 timing there is kind of dope. Or is that a 4/4 to 3/4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7/4, isn't it? It's a nice way to sort of like mix up the halfway point of a verse riff or something, and just to kind of get people's attention and go, oh wait, what's happening here? It also kind of makes it sound like it's a whole entire 15 beats. What are we finishing with? Five, 4 now? Oh, dude. Oh. Another sick shriek guitar solo with the unison bends. What a hell of an outro, actually. I'm really digging that. I've got a lot of time for what was occurring in that part. You got such a simple rhythm riff there. Bomb, 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 bomb. Just going between the first and bomb. Going between the first and that third there. That minor third. And then you've just got the complexity of that solo with those drum fills. And what a lovely way to finish it. It was a good little unexpected take there. Caught me by surprise there. Entwined. Merican. Okay. Nice. Oh, damn. Sorry, can I give a shout out to this? This typical kind of American bluesy rock kind of palm muted riff we got going on here. I see we've got that good old political, social commentary stuff going on here. Go. Man, this is a huge sounding one. Is there like a pad or something like that in there? What's going on here? No, those are good lead guitars up top, aren't they? I love how he's going up in terms of his vocal melody with those lead guitars. Wow. You know, I'm liking how he's going to his falsetto or head voice there. Broken dreams and expired intent. That are those some intense lyrics right there. This guy.
Everybody wants to stay, but no one can afford the rent. It's hard to do. I don't have time to give a damn, but I got a pretty flag for you.
I don't have time to give a damn, but I've got a pretty flag. Wow. Is he man, commenting on like a lack of self-awareness of who they are as people was, acting like they this is gonna ruffle a few feathers, but I kind of dig that. I think this is important. Writing music that says nothing's boring and shit. It's good to have an opinion on this stuff, and if you can back it up by great lyrics and great music, that's a plus.
Don't lose your shine. Just look wide in the mirror, dear, and everything. While we stay, when it's all that we know, do you really think that I would give up the dream? It seems to me that you could be here too if you just tried a little harder, and I took my foot off your neck.
Wow, if you tried a little harder and I took the foot off your neck. Oh boy. That hits a little bit. That hits deep. Clever lyrics though, man. Clever lyrics talking about the hypocrisy there, telling people that they need to work harder, to do better when they're completely just held down by all these different forces. I'm assuming he's considering that to be the epitome of the American dream, where a lot of people are made sort of like. This is just my take on the song. Okay, I don't want to have all people. Actually, who gives a fuck? Really, you can say what you like. Like, to me, what this song is saying is, you know, that there are a lot of people in places like the States, and you know, they've been told again and again that they have equal opportunities when they actually don't, because a lot of the people that tell them that are people that never had to work nearly as hard as they did. Again, I'm not saying that it's every single successful person didn't work hard. You know, everyone's heard the stories though of the people born in those rich families, and they get the best of life, and you know, they don't have to struggle with some of the stuff that poorer people do, or people of different races and ethnicities and other parts. You know, like, there's a certain privilege that comes with being in certain positions in the States, as well as other parts of the world. And it means that, at the very least, the circumstances are not equal. So I completely understand what this is saying. But the foot off the neck part, man, it's visceral, but it's a really good line. And repeating that chorus there, cool. It's such a catchy chorus with that Merican. You know, you got that start one with, he goes up into that falsetto, you know, and then he just, it's hard to do, you know, like, or not hard to do, but you know what he said, you know what he said. And he continues with like a message after that, a statement, and he just repeats that, and it's such an easy a formula to groove along to as a listener, and it's just so chill to follow, and I live for that, man. It's dope. This kind of sounds like the beach rock stuff from like the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. Bum 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 bum. It's the epitome of that kind of rock and roll stuff that was occurring in the mid 20th century in terms of percussion, anyways. They're surrounded by darkness, though. Some intense stuff, dude. Very subtle, muted arpeggios there. And a much more laid-back solo than we had at the end of Entwined, but I think that's fine. There needed to be that sort of mysticism about it. It's, when he says don't lose your shine as well and you have those higher-pitched guitars, I think that was a smart move there as well. That was a killer track, dude, and at under 4 minutes, it makes perfect sense to have that as a single. Sunshine Girl. Very different vocal style to what we've had previously. It's very gentle, very fragile. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of polish with the vocal technique. It doesn't sound quiet in the sense that it doesn't sound weak. It's just another tool in the toolkit. Some interesting synth-based stuff going on here. Oh no, that's not synth. That's guitar. That's heavily modulated guitar stuff, isn't it? There's like a really, wow, what is that? Very misty sounding reverb or delay to that or something like that. Maybe a bit of chorus or something like that. Sunshine Girl, man. It's interesting. This is wonderful. There's a certain amount of elegance to the way this music sounds and has been written. It's great to have this much change within an album like this. Shows the different facets of these musicians. It's actually interesting how well those drums fit into the mix because they're the sharp part of the composition at this point. You know, everything else is very kind of wavery and misty, and that's the little bit of punch that this track needs to continue to keep its groove. Oh man, there's some hella work on those hi-hats, dude. There's some very quick stick work. I dig that. Percussionist is a machine. It's the technique required to be maintained at that point, man. It's you know that's going between those closed and open hi-hats like that. It's not an easy thing to do. Sunshine Girl, where are you going? Where have you been? Is this like a dream sequence or like... Really atmospheric track, this one. I'm trying to figure out from the lyrics what the story is, but I'm wondering if the coloration of the chord harmonies and everything like that is meant to be telling it as well. It still sounds like someone's dreaming about this Sunshine Girl, though. Whether this is something that they sort of think about while they sleep. We're really holding on this pseudo-instrumental section now with these vocal R's. Okay, going up a little bit in that register, that's cool. I feel like I missed out on that first verse. I'm gonna have to listen through that first verse again, but I'll wait until the end of the song to see what happens. Yeah, this track is more about a mood than anything else. Going back to that interlude vocal part with the vocal R's. Nice resonant bass in there. It's interesting how well that bass has been smoothed out. It's nice to hear the bass just not covering the root notes, but to cover other notes around its fret range as well. You know, explore the instrument. Cool. I'm just gonna have a quick listen to that first, see if I can get more of a grasp of what the song is about before continuing to the next two. Okay, let's just go back to the start. You know, like, have you ever heard like the recordings of like church choirs where they have the kids and they sing in that falsetto? It kind of sounds like that. There's a sort of a heavenly kind of tonality to it. It's very peaceful and All right, so my take on Sunshine Girl is that it's about a person who has a lot of light inside of them, and maybe they're struggling to maintain that sort of that brightness because of what's been occurring within them. Or maybe they're holding on to some positivity, and the singer is telling them to not give up on that situation and to not let that kind of fade out because it's very difficult to get it back, not to let go to it, like not to let go of it. And that's my take on what the song is about. I may have missed a few parts of it. Maybe there's a little bit more to it that I'm sort of misunderstanding, but that's my take on Sunshine Girl. It does sound like whoever is singing is dreaming about this person, and maybe this isn't a literal representation of them. Maybe they stand for something else. But regardless, I'm very satisfied with the way that this one was done. It was again a huge contrast to Merican and Entwined, and Nothing Is. Actually, it was kind of a little bit close to Nothing Is But What Is Not. Kind of harkening back to that instrumental part a little bit. But we've got Beautiful Distraction now, number 5. Some reversed drum samples. Oh, here we go. Kind of give me a Pink Floyd vibe here for some reason. Yeah, definitely a Pink Floyd vibe. Okay, before we go any further, I just was taking in all of what was occurring there. Man, the bar with music and production is set so high nowadays, isn't it? Like, I've done a lot of these reviews, and I don't really know how you'd improve this. I think, maybe what's potentially helpful to people is to talk about why a song like this works. You're combining different instruments that encompass different frequency ranges, and when they do, you're panning them or you're EQing them so they fit together in a mix, and you're deliberately using notes and chords and different rhythm patterns that sort of gel well together to create a simple groove that people can roll along to, regardless the intricacy of the playing or the performance of it. And then you've just got all this space because of everything else in the instrumental section working together for the singer to tell their story in a way that's meaningful. And as long as you allow for some dynamic range in your studio mix, you've basically got yourself a fundamentally like near flawless composition. And when I listen to Beautiful Distraction, it sounds like I'm listening to something from like a major label on like the 80s or 90s or something like that. It's but without the cheese. You know what I mean? It's great that we're highlighting the fact that he can go into a flawless falsetto like that. Again, bringing in what some of the vocal techniques shown in Sunshine Girl with the lower range stuff in his vocals is a smart move. Again, it's just a nice way of lifting yourself up and highlighting certain words for effect. Is this like in reference to Sunshine Girl? Is this back down to earth and thinking about it after the dream that they've had about it? Okay, we got a violin or a fiddle or something as a solo instrument. That's pretty dope. You know, I've heard sort of the word melancholic mentioned here. It does sort of sound melancholic a little bit, the song. It's I don't really know how I would describe it. It's like it doesn't want to commit to a certain type of emotion. It also could potentially sound bittersweet, although that might be a contradiction. Along the way, is this talking about like people breaking their relationships and becoming new people because of it, or like losing themselves in relationships and sort of permanently becoming disfigured by them? Is this about the sunshine that that girl had and losing that brightness and that hope and stuff? And is that it? So when we say it's a long way down, is that talking about how like if they make it all the way up high and they're soaring with each other, coming back from that can potentially be a tenuous sort of decision? It's very difficult to come back from this. Is that what I'm kind of getting from this? That you have to be careful about what you get distracted by? And we've got those vocals coming in from Sun Jingle. Like, I guess as a reviewer, if I talk about my experience with the song as an honest, authentic review, dude, my brain is kind of just like tuning out just because of all this stuff is going on. And because of the song is in this sort of near 6 minute form factor, like, don't get me wrong, I can pay attention to something for more than 5 minutes. And it's not because it's poorly written. I think this song is incredibly well written. Just my brain is treating it like a lot of the sort of higher level stuff I listen to without outside of these reviews, where it's just I kind of like I don't know, absorb it passively, and it's such a tricky thing because it potentially makes it look like I don't care about something, but actually it's a really great compliment. If I'm zoning out whilst I listen to something, it's because my brain is really happy with it. Potentially not as stimulated as if it was like something truly fantastic, but I think that it's more because there's a lot of what's going on within the song. I could appreciate it within the first minute, and that theme is just continuing throughout. And I think it's I think for maybe the tonality, amount of reverb, and like the atmosphere of it, it's not meant to be something which is going to continually punch you in the face if you take your eyes away. We got some brass here. Oh, all sorts of instruments, man. It was nice to have that brass, those trumpets or whichever, highlighting one or more of the melodies at the start of the song, kind of harkening back to that. Again, it's just songwriting 101, you know? Having that main musical theme and developing it throughout and relating back to it and keeping people familiar so they don't get too estranged by it. Like, unless you're deliberately doing something quite progressive or you're making music that is literal to the story and it's like a through composed story where people are constantly going to like, this is chapter 1 and this is chapter 2, etc. There's no reason not to focus on that main theme and keep it throughout. And there are 2 or 3 distinct sections in this song that, like, the instrumental performances are pretty much, yeah. Again, it's like at this level, it's kind of picking things apart by little tiny things, and I just see that as redundant. It's difficult for me to be genuinely critical about stuff. Um, you know, it's difficult to me to be horrifically critical about something where I can't genuinely find fault. And if I'm looking for fault in something when it isn't there, then that isn't very professional, is it? That's just looking for faults for the sake of thinking that something can't be done properly. And this has been done incredibly well. You know, Beautiful Distraction was a beautiful song. I'm not sure I got all of it, but I did try my best with it. And final track for today, Fall Down. There's a lot of air to these. Like it's in a big hole or a big mountain or something like that. Huge amounts of air and space. Kind of sounds like you're surrounded by the music. I don't know what kind of instrument this is though. This is like a sitar or something like that. Okay, we've got a solid 8th note groove there with some ambient guitars on the right. Kind of reminds me a little bit of U2's stuff here, actually. Just because of the effects and all that kind of stuff. And because of some of the effects on the vocals as well. And again, I'm not saying that like there's any pitch correction or anything like that going on. It's just the signal chain outside of that. Again, going into that falsetto there, very nice. Because like it's not too fuzzy, it's not too foamy or anything like that. Because the bass, for instance, is dun dun dun. You can hear there's got a nice attack on it and stuff like that. You know, it's deliberate implementation of these kind of more these fluffy effects, which give some things a lot more space and prominence in a mix, whilst keeping the stuff that needs to be kind of needs to cut through the mix the way it needs to. It's good. Because like the chord progression is fairly simple. You have a D major chord. What is that? Yeah, no, so we had like the first going for 2 bars, and then you had the third and the fourth. So you got like a 1, 1, 3, 4 chord progression. Again, the chord progression by itself is fairly simple. There's not a lot of complexity to it. It's just the beauty of what Westave House is doing is they're just adding other different elements, and they're adding some interesting sort of like effects like reverb and delay on certain channels, and it can even just be a couple of notes that are repeated occasionally with the multi-layering within the studio production, and it makes it sound a whole lot bigger than it actually is. I'm not quite sure what they're saying there. That's a hell of a solo on that flute there, on those pipes. Again, these different, unique sort of Celtic instruments, if I'm not mistaken, I apologize if I am mistaken. I'm probably mistaken. I'm gonna get told off for that. Whatever, they got these interesting sort of instruments that you just don't hear much in a lot of music, and they're occasional to like a certain track, and it helps that particular track to have its own identity. Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's saying there. Come let it wash me and don't cry. So is he talking about being allowed to fall down and make mistakes and kind of repent and like become better off of that? And having that flute come in, can you hear the sound, is a nice touch there. Just saying, can you hear it? It's here. And it was almost like that was a sound that people needed to hear before this final chorus in order to sort of like recover from this. Oh, let it wash me and don't cry. So is it being soaked in the music kind of, is that affecting me in a certain way, and to not feel sorry for that or to not feel bad about that? I'm gonna listen through the first verse again because we're about to finish up and I want to make sure I don't kind of half-ass it because that's not very fun, is it? Oh, I get it. So he's saying, did you think of everything before you left? All right. Okay, so like from what I understand about that verse, the song is a breakup. There's about a breakup. Maybe they got together and Entwined, and then Beautiful Distraction and Fall Down. It's just they've realized that it hasn't worked out, and they're trying to figure out what's real and what's not. And the guy's just like, look, I just need to hear this out. I need to hear to feel this. You know, like don't cry about it, but it's gonna affect me in a certain way, and that's just part of life, and we're gonna have to sort of just move on from this. Again, I could be completely wrong about that. Again, I am trying my best to understand the connotations and the context of this track, but that's the best that I can do at this point in time. Um, yeah, I mean, again, like, I don't know, man. Why is this difficult for me to sort of conclude on? Because I need to conclude. I've been talking for a while. These 6 tracks that we listened today, Fall Down, being the last of them. We got Nothing Is But What Is Not, Entwined, Merican, Sunshine Girl, Beautiful Distraction, and Fall Down. Were 6 very different tracks, maybe 6 different approaches. All done quite professionally, like they were confident performances vocally and otherwise, instrumentally as well. Again, each of the tracks was interesting throughout their entirety. There was no point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. American would, to me, like that kind of kicked you in the teeth with what it was about, and I appreciate that gumption there. I think that's really cool. Sunshine Girl was one of the most peaceful, charming tracks I've listened to in my entire life, and it really it capitalized on the magnificent texture and tonality of the falsetto range of the singer in West of House. Beautiful Distraction was pretty cool there. I know I said I zoned out. It's not because I thought it was a bad song or anything like that. It's just literally my brain just turns off sometimes when it's like, oh yeah, that's totally fine, and it's just it's just a quirk of who I am, my dudes. My dudes and dudettes. And then finally Fall Down as well. Gave me some U2 like U2 90s kind of alt rock indie kind of vibes there. Yeah, it was nice to see this go between like indie and ambient, atmospheric, and was sort of like wave-ish kind of stuff to the alternative rock. It was great to see all these different angles from West of House. Yeah, they ought to be proud of themselves. This was a really, really well done album from what I've heard so far. Hopefully they communicated the story that they wanted to or that they needed to, because this sort of introductory album is very important. No, they did one before this. There was Crescendo of Silence. So this is their second album, is it? Yeah, so this is their second album. Wow, okay. So I think that I haven't, the first one there, I'd have to check through my records because I know that I've listened to music from the musicians in this act before. But I think this is the first album I've listened to from these guys. And again, I'm sure I'll get my butt kicked verbally if that's not the case. From the specific act, I mean. But it's a great first impression for me personally as a music reviewer. I've got no doubts that they'll find an audience. Just again, the bar is set so high nowadays. It's so difficult to stand out as a musician. It's got to be a cult of personality, or it's got to be a completely different way of doing music than what's already been done. But I still maintain there are audiences for musicians who can just play, write, record solid tunes. And I really hope West of House can find an audience for this if they haven't already, because they deserve to with all the hard work they put into it. But this is effectively my review of West of House's Drown the Wind, the album. First 6 tracks of it anyways. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out West of House's various social medias and SoundCloud. Stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spider Hands out.